What Keisha wants, Keisha gets. That was how I used to think, until my parents betrayed me. Have you ever been betrayed? Like this video and hit the subscribe button. I grew up very privileged, getting whatever I wanted. My parents were very rich. At a young age, I grew a fascination to anything thrilling. My dad was an adrenaline junkie, and I took after him. We would go parasailing, wakeboarding, and river rafting in different countries. As a teen, I became interested in skydiving. I asked my parents to get me a private jet and my own personal pilot so I can go skydiving whenever I wanted to, and at the snap of a finger, I got it. When I told my dad I wanted to try sailboat racing, I got my own sailboat the next day. My parents gave me my every whim to the point where I became very confident that if I ever told them I wanted a rocket so I can fly to the moon, they would figure out how to get it for me. After all, I was their only precious daughter, or so I thought. One day, I read an article online that Queen Elizabeth actually insisted on joining the British Army in 1944. I was so amazed. I wanted to be like her. For 2 years, I prepared my credentials and got a nomination to the United States Military Academy. I was overjoyed when I learned that I had been admitted. Unfortunately, my parents expressed their strong disapproval over my decision. I was going to pursue my happiness and serve my country. How could they disapprove of such a noble goal? I begged, but they got really mad. But what Keisha wants, Keisha gets. I started thinking of a way to make them change their minds. As I was having dinner alone at a restaurant, one of the waiters happened to catch my attention. He wasn't really very handsome, maybe a bit cute on the second look, but not the eye candy type of guy. However, there was something about the way he carried himself that attracted me. Shame, if only he was someone on my level, then maybe I would have dated him, I thought. Then it hit me. Dating this kind of guy would definitely piss off my parents. I learned that the waiter's name was Caleb. I waited for the waiter to go off duty and asked him if he wanted a part-time job. I told him I'd pay him well. At first, Caleb thought I was messing with him, but after explaining my situation, he agreed. I told him the conditions of our fake relationship, and we took a sweet picture together. I thanked him for helping me out. Before we parted, he told me that he kind of recognized me since he saw me in a business magazine once. Well, that was kind of unusual. Why would a mere waiter read a business magazine? I shove off the thought and posted our pictures together on social media. I made sure all my rich friends and their influential parents knew about it. Every day, I would make our sweet conversations public. In no time, the news of me dating a waiter reached my parents. As expected, they confronted me about it, asked me to come back to my senses and break up with the guy before our family's reputation gets damaged. The moment I have been waiting for, I would blackmail my parents to allow me to go to the military school in exchange for breaking up with Caleb. Unfortunately, I did not get the result I'd hoped for. My dad got more upset. I got kicked out of the house and my credit cards and bank accounts got frozen. I called Caleb and explained my situation to him. To my surprise, he offered to help me. He told me he knew a place where I could stay for free. A friend's loft, he said. When we got there, the place seemed pretty decent, so I thought his friend might be well off. Living on a tight budget day to day wasn't easy. There were times when I even had to skip meals. I couldn't imagine how hard Caleb must have worked as a waiter just to meet his needs. I was tempted so many times to go back to my parents and give up on my dreams of joining the army, but every time I tried to call them, I just couldn't. The academy did offer a free tuition program. Perhaps I could make it on my own. For 3 months, the only person who was there for me as I struggled in poverty was Caleb. He would even bring me food from time to time. It made me so embarrassed because I should have been the one paying him, but instead, he was the one taking care of me, despite his poverty. He was really sweet, and I started to like him. For real. One day, I received a call from my dad. I couldn't believe what I heard him say. He finally agreed to my going to West Point, but he had one condition. I expected it to be me breaking up with Caleb, and I was ready to admit that Caleb and I were not really together. To my astonishment, my dad told me that I could go to West Point if I married Caleb. I was so confused. It turns out that Caleb was the son of a businessman who had a restaurant chain all over the country. He was working as a waiter as part of his training. I guess the joke was on me. In the end, my plot failed and worked to my parents' advantage. Was I able to go to West Point? Yes, but I wasn't able to survive the beast barracks, so I dropped out. Still, it was a good and thrilling experience. What about Caleb, you ask? Well, he's a nice guy, so we started dating. For reals. Do you think all I went through was worth it? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below.